These are hugely politically charged figures. On the jobs front, we've seen another massive drop in the number of people out of work, and that is across the board. Youth unemployment down, long-term unemployment down, overall unemployment down by more than 130,000. Now, that is one of the biggest falls for yonks, taking us back to an unemployment level which we haven't seen since 2009. But even more striking than the fall in unemployment is the huge rise in employment, the number actually getting jobs, which has leapt up by more than 250,000 over the past 3 months. Now, one can quibble about the sorts of jobs people might be finding. Many of them might just be able to get part-time work. It might involve zero-hours contracts. There's many people who are having to work for themselves, and that might be, as you know, in casual work, in contract work, in freelance work. The work itself might be quite uncertain, but there is no getting away from the fact that there is a huge rise in the number of people at least finding some form of job, albeit the Work and Pensions Minister, Esther McVey, acknowledged a short time ago there was still a long way to go.
Obviously, that's got to be positive news for everyone. We said we'd rebuild the economy. We said we'd get more people into work. We've built solid foundations, and month on month that I'm speaking to you, we are doing just that. And what you've seen this month actually is the biggest number of people in work in a month since records began for 40 years, and the biggest annual increase for people in employment for 25 years. So we were doing what we said we'd do. Always more work to be done, without doubt. But you can see here, steady as you go, more people into work, and significantly, something that I said I really wanted to focus on, something the government wanted to focus on, was youth unemployment. And you see there, fallen for 8 consecutive months, and now nearly 100,000 less people, young people, unemployed than at the election.
Well, despite today's better figures, Labour are sticking to their offensive over the cost of living, with the Shadow Work and Pension Secretary Rachel Reeves insisting that the recovery was only benefiting the better off.
Look, the average worker will know that they are £1,600 worse off than when David Cameron became Prime Minister. And all the press releases and spin can't hide that reality that under David Cameron, people have got worse off, not better off. And that's how people are feeling today, and still at the next election, unless there's a huge turnaround, which no one seems to be forecasting.
The other politically striking fact about today's figures is they also give us an indication of the number of Romanians and Bulgarians coming to Britain. This is the first snapshot we've had since those border controls were lifted at the start of the year. And what they actually show is the number coming here to work has actually fallen by something like 4,000 over the past 3 months. Although, if you look over a year, it's actually gone up by around 30,000. One other striking thing from the figures is it reinforces the fact that the number of people coming from Eastern Europe to work in Britain is continuing to rise pretty steadily. The number coming from Eastern Europe rising by something like 111,000 over the past year. Now, these figures have been used by all sides really to buttress their own arguments. The Liberal Democrats have said the figures on Romanians and Bulgarians show UKIP have been scaremongering. UKIP are saying that the rise in Eastern Europeans overall shows that they are right and that Britain has open borders. What was it Winston Churchill said? Lies, damn lies, and statistics?